wash bottles and all the parts.
Time, move faster.
It was too big, and then
You might be doing an exchange. That's time out of your schedule.
that's
So,
$300
right.
for
Yeah.
this massive piece of.
Welcome to the Baby Registry Breakdown episode 3. Today we are going to break down some of the most popular items. This is an episode that you don't want to miss. But let's talk about popular products in general. And, sometimes there's what we consider better alternatives that are not on the list just because they're popular. What is your opinion on how people should approach popular products? Because certainly when you go to the baby list generated registry, you're getting a lot of the most popular products.
Mm-hmm. It's important to look at them and see if that fits with your lifestyle and your needs. They may not. Even though they're the most popular baby product, it might not mean that this is right for you and your baby and your family. There's a lot of outdated baby advice out there, and a lot of these products are a solution to an outdated problem that no longer exists, and it has just become a staple. There are some things out there that are fairly expensive that are completely unnecessary. So, you could just go that route and get the popular thing because you want to, but you don't have to. Look into these things and make sure that what you put on your baby registry is right for you.
Let's just jump right into the list. The Munchkin toddler snack cups. Pack of 2, blue and green. I don't know that it matters about the color, but the Munchkin snack cups are hugely popular. I think, to me, they look like a really good, sturdy, a nice option. What are your thoughts?
They seem like they'll get the job done decently. There's a few features that I really don't like about them. One being that they have handles, which could be great for your child. However, it could also make it difficult to put into cup holders or bags, pockets of bags. And the other thing is the fact that these handles don't connect all the way. So that means that you can't hook them onto something. You can't snap them onto something, carry them around like that. These would fall off.
So what do you mean hook them onto something?
If let's say you want to have your snack
on a bag?
cup. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whereas ours have the loop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So they're really just for holding. They're not for attaching to things, which one of the huge benefits of having a loop is that you can attach it to your diaper bag on the outside.
A lot of people have carabiners that are attached to their diaper bags or strollers. It's just it would be nice to be able to secure that on the outside of a bag
that's
for
a good
easy
point.
access.
That's a good point. And then also the handles stop it from going all the way into a cup holder, especially if it's one where, the sides it's not open around the edges.
Yeah, for instance, a car seat cup holder, a lot of them, you would not be able to put these in.
Yeah.
The reason why I think that these are so popular is because they are the Munchkin brand. And one of the most popular toddler cups, sippy cups, is the 360 cup. One of the 360 cups is made by Munchkin, one of the most popular ones. And it looks very, very similar to that. It has the handles. So you can see why parents would gravitate towards this brand of snack cup.
Yeah, the 360 cups are awesome. So the next item we have is the Bottle Washer Pro. And I think this thing is just crazy. The more I look at it, it's 8 by 8 by 16 inches. It's just another appliance on your kitchen counter. We all know that our kitchen counter space is some of the most precious real estate in the country. This thing, it basically is doing what your dishwasher does. It takes approximately 90 minutes to run a full cycle. So it could be taking even longer than your dishwasher to get your bottles clean. And it only holds 4 bottles.
I've read that it actually takes longer than that.
I guess it depends on the cycle.
Yeah. If you wanted to do the full sanitize, wash, and dry, it's going to take close to 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah. So I think if you're not hand washing bottles in the meantime, you might be so.
It holds 4 bottles. It does not hold the Dr. Brown's caps of the bottles. So you have places to put everything else for the Dr. Brown's bottles, except for the caps. You can't wash the caps.
So you're still going to hand wash something.
But then also, if you're pumping and you want to wash your pump parts, well, choose. What do you want to wash?
Okay, so this thing's going to be taking up room on your counter, and you're going to be using it all the time because it takes so long.
Yeah, well, you'll be able to wash your pump parts and maybe one bottle. In that case, why not just hand wash your bottle at the very least, you know?
This is a lot for a little.
It's huge. It also leaves residue on, so essentially you still have to wash it after because it leaves residue inside of the bottle.
You have
and
the
on
same
nipples.
the same problem you have with the
With
dishwasher.
yeah, you still have to hand wash it again because it leaves residue. The other thing about this is that it only takes Baby Brezza
Detergent. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah.
So that's
So,
$300 for
Yeah.
this massive piece of garbage.
They call that in product design, they call that lock-in.
Yeah.
And as consumers, that's something we try to avoid. So there you go. Baby Brezza. Yeah. Thanks, but no thanks.
The funny thing is that most of the time that it takes to wash everything is the drying process. And literally, you could set your bottles out on a drying rack and have it dry quicker than this thing dries your bottles. So pointless. Completely pointless.
All right. This is just making me sick. Let's go to the next one, which is something that has been around for quite a while. The Stokke Tripp Trapp highchair. In how long have been people been buying Tripp Traps?
For 50 years.
So happy 50th birthday to the Tripp Trapp.
Yeah.
And that was just, I think 50 years ago, that was just the original chair. And the designer, he wanted to develop a chair that his children could use. Is that what happened?
Well, he wanted to develop a high chair. Yeah, a chair that his children could use that would grow with them.
That would grow with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't just a high chair. It also could become a chair. And that's basically the big major selling point today, 50 years later, of the Tripp Trapp,
Yes.
right?
It's a piece of furniture. Yeah. Yes.
Now, the reviews in terms of like the baby set, which is the package basically where you can put your infant up to the table, or you can put your a smaller baby up to the table.
Your baby 6 months old and older.
6 months and up. That there are some criticisms of. One, the straps. People don't like that the straps are hard to get off, that they're hard to clean. The other part is that because the leg holes, the way that they scoop down, a lot of people have a problem with fitting their baby's legs through the holes, especially bigger babies. So that could be an issue. I think that's one thing to consider when you buy it, is you are taking the risk with the bigger baby, with the baby set, that you might be pushing out when you can use this. And if that's something you're willing to put up with, fine. But ultimately, you're going to have a nice piece of furniture. One thing I want to point out, too, is if you're having problems with the legs and your baby's legs fitting through, make sure that you don't have the seat cushion on. That may be pushing up your legs and not allowing for enough room. So that's one thing to check if you are having that problem currently. Going back to how these can be customized and all the different ways to customize, there's a lot with these high-end high chairs. It's kind of like travel systems a little bit. And it's a good time to mention that, if you're using our Baby Gear game plan, that's one area. We study all these products, the latest configurations, what some of the best ideas are, and what the strategies can be particular to you. And there's a lot of them. So if you don't want to spend those hours and hours and hours studying these things, learning these things, getting up to speed, and believe me, you don't want to do that for all the different product options. That's something that we can help you with. So if that's something you're interested, go over to pabbot.com, pabbot.com, and check out the Baby Gear game plan. So the next item on the list is the Dr. Brown's Options Plus Newborn Starter Gift Set. And Paris, what do you think about this product, especially on a baby registry?
Yeah, it's my personal opinion, and I know the opinions of a lot of other people, that bottles, at least one brand of bottles, do not belong on a registry.
So we talked about this before, but we really like the approach of the bottle box and seeing how your baby takes to one bottle or another. And
the Baby List bottle box
Yeah.
is one of our favorite things.
Yeah. And especially now with shipping those, whatever bottle they prefer, you can get it really quickly, probably the next day in most
Yeah.
places in the US. So you don't necessarily need to invest in a bottle set like this.
Exactly. Yeah, you can just try out the top of the line, the best, most popular bottles in the 4-ounce version. And then once you figure out which one your baby likes the best, then you can go all in on the brand. But yeah, we don't recommend going all in on a brand before the baby arrives.
Okay, so that part aside,
Yes.
just the Dr. Brown's bottles themselves, I know that we had these, the babies like them. I think they do a pretty good job with the whole anti-colic aspect in the straw. However, you ran into a problem. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. Well, aside from there just being a lot of parts to this, I found out after the babies had used them several times that there are tiny holes along the air intake that I had no idea about. Tiny, tiny holes that you have to have a little tool to clean them out with. So that was horrifying to find out, to say the least, that I had not been cleaning them properly.
So not the easiest to clean. Now, did you run the bottles to the dishwasher and they just weren't, it wasn't cleaning out the holes that way either? Is that what happened? Or
Yeah, you know what? I did run them through the dishwasher, and I, thought that great, that's it. Good, they're clean. No. No.
So here's a challenge I have if you're watching this. If you have the Baby Brezza Bottle Washer and you also have Dr. Brown's bottles, please let us know in the comments if that bottle washer is able to clean out the holes in the Dr. Brown's, because they show the Dr. Brown's in their ads that they're cleaning out. And maybe that's the whole purpose of this machine. And
No,
we can issue an apology because it says it has the 20 jets.
No.
Maybe the 20 jets are designed to hit the holes on the Dr.
They're
Brown's
on the
straws.
sides. You can see the edges. That means it can't get those holes.
Okay, we don't think it's possible.
No. We already know that it does not have room for the caps of these bottles.
Yeah, so there's already a shortcoming there for the...
Yeah.
Okay, but that could be the one application. We'll see. All right, let's go to the next item, which is the Love to Dream Swaddle Up Adaptive Original Swaddle Wrap. These are for arms up?
Yes. This is also the most popular swaddle, just in general.
Okay.
This is the arms up swaddle, which some babies like that, some babies don't. Our nephews liked their arms up and our babies did not.
For the swaddle up with the arms up, this could be from newborn. On here it says 5 pounds for the newborn size, but then you have to go up to a small size for 8 pounds and up, which that's not a very long time for a lot of babies. They could even be starting in a small.
Yeah.
So this might be a tough item to register for.
You know what? We had this item, and the problem...
We had the small. It was bigger.
It was too big. It was too big, and then...
Or the medium, maybe even.
Yeah, and then they couldn't be swaddled anymore. So we could not use this product.
So I think the challenge is, one, if you're registering for it, you don't have a huge window, 5 to 8.5 pounds. I mean, it's possible that your baby could arrive at 8.5 pounds.
Yeah, or heavier.
Or heavier. So it's risky to get the newborn in advance because you might be doing an exchange. That's time out of your schedule. Or if you get the small, you're probably in that window. The medium, however, your baby might be rolling over well before they've outgrown it at 13 to 19 pounds. They probably will.
Your baby absolutely will be rolling by then.
So the medium might not even make sense.
Yeah.
And then all this with the assumption, just like our babies, they didn't like their arms up anyways.
No.
So it was pretty well useless.
Yeah, it just stayed folded up. Also, it's worth mentioning, though, that it does have a heat rating of 1 TOG, but they also, some of the different patterns, while they might be cute, are different TOG ratings. So just be aware of that when you purchase them.
So you're going to want to be looking at the time of year.
Yes.
That your baby's moving in and out of these stages, and selecting the TOG, and also just generally you want to be attentive to the temperature of your house and especially of the nursery.
Yes.
Okay. The next item is the Essentials Cotton Muslin Swaddles 4-pack, and these things just do so much work through that first 14 months even, but especially earlier on. And the nice thing that I liked about them is that they have that little stretchiness.
So this is the most popular swaddle blanket out there, is the Aiden and Anais swaddle blankets. I really love them. They're a great size. They're really useful just even as like a light blanket. Even after your baby doesn't need to be swaddled anymore, it's still nice. Throw it on the stroller, on the car seat. It's just nice to have. And they're made of a very similar material to the burp cloths that
Right.
or a lot of burp cloths, the muslin burp cloths.
Yeah. But thinner.
It has great absorbency, but also breathability, which is excellent.
Yeah. And they're cute.
Yeah.
I think that lends to why these are so popular as well. They're really cute. The next one we have is the Halo Innovation Sleep Sack, 100% cotton wearable blanket. The Halo Sleep Sack, extremely popular, and it comes in at a pretty good price at $29.99.
Uh-huh.
But it's only 0.5 TOG.
Yeah.
So not as warm as some other sleep sacks. May not be warm enough for your climate or how you keep your house.
One of the reasons why this is so popular is because it's available at Target, and it's only $30, which is pretty affordable, especially for
Yeah.
a sleep sack. However, like you said, it is 0.5 TOG, which is for hot weather. That's like 78 degrees or so. Most people don't keep their houses at that temperature, I don't think.
Mhm.
This is more like putting a light sheet over your baby
Right.
as a blanket, instead of like a heavier blanket. So I don't know that it's really worth it. It just seems a little bit pointless at that TOG rating.
So they have the newborn size, and I know they also have the one that is the swaddle.
Uh-huh.
This one is not the swaddle. This is just the sleep sack,
Yeah.
wearable blanket. But size newborn, I don't think just a sleep sack is going to make sense for a newborn. I think at the newborn stage, buying the swaddle version of this probably makes more sense.
Yes. Yeah, it does.
And you noticed another problem for babies who are a little bit older who are able to roll over with this sleep sack.
Oh, yeah. So a lot of babies prefer, once they are able to roll from their back to their stomach, they do prefer to sleep on their stomach, a lot of them. So having the zipper go up the front of the sleep sack is a little bit uncomfortable if you're laying on your belly and sleeping that way.
Yeah.
A lot of the more expensive,
The premium.
Those sleep sacks, the zipper actually goes to the side of the sleep sack. So when they do lay on their belly, it doesn't bother them at all.
Like ours with the Gunanuma, you'll see various zippers too that allow access. This one does have the zipper on the bottom
Yeah.
to make it easier for diaper changing. The only thing is that, especially with older babies, typically you're just taking them off if they're sleeping through the night. So there's not a whole lot of instances where you really need that bottom zipper. But I guess it's better to have it than not have it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next item we have is a favorite in our nursery, although we have the first gen, but we're talking about the ultra popular Hatch Rest second gen all-in-one sleep machine, night light, and sound machine. The sound machine that we pretty much just keep on and never on lullabies or story time.
It's actually the sound of rain.
Oh, it's rain?
Yeah, it's rain.
I just think of white noise, but okay.
Yeah.
I guess it's rain.
It's rain.
So that's one of the major differences between the first gen and the second gen is this one has a few more options, has a storytime mode, and the major problem that people have with the second gen is that Hatch offers a subscription where you can get some of these things, and even if they don't want it, it sounds like that's something that they get spammed with a lot when they go into the app. I didn't even hardly use the app very much with the first gen. Tried to do some programming and changing the first couple nights. I know you used it a little bit more.
Yeah. I still use it.
You still use it?
Not often.
How do you use it now?
Well, I have everything programmed already. It essentially, if we go off schedule, I will have to adjust the nap time sounds and light that I play.
Yeah.
Or the wake time sounds and light. It's not often that happens, but sometimes it does.
This one, there's a couple differences. One of the major differences is, besides the app in the spam, is that it has the clock on the front. And what do you think about the clock?
I like the clock. I wish that ours had a clock. Gosh, it'd be so nice, especially now that the babies are getting older. It would just be nice for them to be able to not only relate the light, color, and sound with morning or time to get up from their nap, but also be able to see what time it is.
Oh yeah, because they're starting to associate numbers with things and,
Yeah, they're
and
starting
counting.
to count. So it'd be nice
That's cool.
if they had that. And of course, it would have been nice to have during the newborn phase, when we're trying to rock them to sleep for a few minutes before putting them down. And
Yeah, we had the advantage of having a city apartment where the kitchen was right off of the nursery, so we could actually see the microwave light as we were rocking them to sleep. At least I could.
yeah, I couldn't.
With my eagle eyes. And
It was just a green blur.
so it's just like, staring at that green glow, like, just please, like, time, move faster. And the number just, it felt like an eternity that it would change when you have a hot crying baby who won't go to sleep. And you've been holding it all day, and you're just like, I just want to lay this baby down. And nope, just time, standing still,
Nope, still
looking at
4:06.
that time. So I'm kind of glad we didn't have this in the nursery. I could at least escape from that clock a little bit and help time move a little bit faster. If you get the hatch rest second gen, just understand, like, you might grow to really not like that clock in certain instances when time just won't move along and you're just trying to hold that baby. I think the thing too is, like, you don't want to, when you're doing what we did, and you're just taking a sensible approach. I feel like a sensible approach to putting your baby down.
Yeah.
And you're not doing cry it out, but you're also just not holding them all the time for all of your life. And just, you're trying to find this balance where you pick them up, you comfort them, you put them back down. So what I would do is I would say, okay, I'm gonna pick them up and I'm gonna rock them for 15 minutes. I'm gonna rock, and then I'm gonna slowly reduce that amount of time.
Yeah.
So that's where it came in, where I was constantly watching the clock. This time I'm doing 15 minutes. This time I'm doing 12 minutes. So this would be really nice for that, but also could be, like I said, be extremely annoying. Is the Babyletto Hudson 3-in-1 convertible crib with toddler rail. And I think these are really nice cribs. It's definitely one that holds up. I think even through the toddler years, you see a lot of families are able to use these for multiple babies. They're able to, modify and use it as a toddler bed all the way up through the big kid beds. The toddler rail comes with this, which is really nice. I think obviously very modern looking, nice looking. The one thing though is that, especially on the lighter colors, you do see the fasteners on these. And to me, they kind of stand out a bit. These are, nice looking quality mid-range cribs.
I love that it does come with the toddler rail. Usually on a lot of these cribs, you have to pay for everything separately. So even if it says 3-in-1 or more, 4-in-1, whatever, you probably have to buy the things to transform them into a day bed or a toddler bed or a twin bed or full bed separately.
Which is fine if you know that, because it's one less thing you have to store. The problem is they're sold as convertibles, and that becomes a hidden cost that you have to absorb later on.
Because they are not cheap. You'd think that they would just be, not much, like $40 or whatever for what it is. No, they're usually at least $150.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like the Babyletto cribs. I mean, I feel like they're being more honest in their advertising, easy to put together, quality cribs that can take you a long way and even take you into past the toddler years. Let's talk about another bassinet, and that's the Halo Bassinet Swivel Baby Bassinet, another, extremely popular bassinet.
Okay, so according to my research on what is the most popular bassinet, well, that was a snoo, just by itself. But across multiple versions and variations, it is by far the Halo Bassinet.
Across multiple versions.
Yes.
But Halo has a lot of different versions of the bassinet.
Yes, exactly. The most popular of them being the swivel sleeper.
Okay.
And there are several versions of the swivel sleeper as well.
I guess I'll just start out with what I like about the Halo Bassinet Swivel Sleeper, and that is it's adjustable in so many ways. And I really like how it can be swiveled in all these positions, height adjusted, because the problem you face with a lot of these bassinets, and we saw this with the other Halo, the Flex, is that didn't have the same level of adjustability, had some problems there in that base design. And I like how this one you can get really to the right height of your mattress. And then, having the ability to turn that, I feel like is clutch too, because you don't always want to be pinned between the bed and the baby. And depending on your bedroom setup, you might want to adjust this different ways. What do you think?
Yeah, actually, the one that is on here, that we have on here is the Luxe series,
Okay.
which is a newer version. There actually is one that is the Luxe Plus, I believe, that has even more features. But this one is the newest one, and it has swivels. You can swivel it over the bed, essentially,
Right.
and then swivel it back, but you're not turning your baby around. You're actually swiveling it
That's
back.
nice.
And then the cool thing about this is that you can actually, it comes off the bassinet part.
Yeah.
Comes right off.
So you can take it
the
with
stand.
you.
Yep, and bring it in the other room.
Around
You
the
can
house.
take it on vacation if you want.
And it does
to.
kind of have that like hip hugger laundry basket design.
It does.
Which
it
could be
does.
helpful. And can you tell us a little bit about like why that might be so important in the early days for just the way that you're able to turn this?
The swiveling part?
Yeah, from a mom's perspective.
Yeah, so regardless of how you give birth, just the first few weeks of being at home is a little tricky, a little hard. You don't really want to be moving around a whole lot. So being able to have your baby right there next to your bed, you don't have to get up. You could just pick up your baby and feed them right there, and hopefully your partner will help you with other things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just being able to check on your baby at all times. The great thing about this is that the edge of it, the top edge, it bends down.
Oh.
So it swivels, the bassinet part swivels over the bed, so
Yeah.
right up next to you. And then you can just pull it down and your baby is right there. So you don't have to like be getting up over the edge. You literally can just pull down the edge of the bassinet. And the baby cannot do that by themselves. So you don't have to worry about them rolling out of it or anything like that. It is secure, but it'll make it a lot more easy and convenient for you. Another great feature of this is that it does have pockets.
I'm mixed on pockets.
The thing about this also is that the pockets are removable on this one.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
And the only problem I have with pockets is like for newborns, younger babies, they have a very heavy sleep belt. But I would find with ours, when I would go in the pockets to grab a burp rag or pacifier, one would wake up. So that's where my thing with pockets, I'm like, you go into a pocket for something that you need when you need it, and all of a sudden you have a baby crying.
This does have lights. It's got a light.
Oh, an LED.
Yeah,
built in.
It has 2 LED lights, so you can see the baby. You can see inside of the bassinet at night. So if you have to do a feeding or a changing or whatever you need, there is light there. And then another great thing is that right on the edge there, it has a light, another light that shines on the floor.
That's nice too,
So
because it becomes a
your...
tripping. There's tripping hazards. That was a really tough thing in the early days. Is just trying to see everything on the floor. You try to keep the floor clear, but then you have things like this that have legs, and it becomes really tough.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that.
There is also, it's easier to adjust up and down than the previous version, so that's nice. It does have a nice wood panel at the back if you wanted to. There is an attachment. I think they called it a newborn attachment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you realized that the SNU has kind of a V-shaped
Right. That's right.
Mesh panel that comes from the side that keeps your baby centered.
Yeah.
Well, they have an attachment that attaches to this thing too.
That does the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's nice. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Baby Registry Breakdown. Make sure to subscribe if you are on YouTube, and if you are on Apple Podcast, make sure to follow and leave a review. That would greatly help the podcast. Appreciate you. See you next time.